Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation, and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. It's time to let go of negative thinking, understand why you do what you do, and stop the self-sabotage. With your host, Fran Excel.
Welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, your resident subconscious success mentor, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. If you want to stop sabotaging your own success and let go of the stress, then you are in the right place, my friend. Make sure you download your free Stressed to Success guided meditation at bit.ly/stressed to success as my little gift to you for being here. Please do subscribe, share, review. It really, really helps people that need to hear this message find us, and I so appreciate it. In the show notes, you will also find details of how you can work with me and where you can get your mitts on my meditations, products, and printables. You can also find it through the link in my bio on Instagram, which is my second favorite place to hang out. So please do come join me over there at I'm Fran Excel. Tag me in your takeaways, slide into my DMs. I am here for it. So that is the formalities over, my love. So let's jump into the content. I have got a juicy one for you this week. Why is it that some people create huge success seemingly effortlessly and others never quite reach their full potential? Now, there's not a quick answer. It is very nuanced, but at the same time, fairly simple to see once you understand a few of the fundamentals. And I hope something a little bit different to what you might have normally heard. So it's the same thing that shows up, but there's different ways that it shows up. So our behavior is governed by so many different things that are going on, mostly unconsciously. And if you have been listening to me for any amount of time, you'll know this. 95 to 99% of everything that we do is on an unconscious level. It's how we conserve energy, is autopilot, right? But it's not just physiological things. It's not just walking, the way we brush our teeth, the way we do our hair, the way we do everything that requires no conscious thought from us. Yeah, is also the emotional and behavioral patterns that we follow. So those behaviors we're not conscious to, and then wonder why the same things keep happening. You know, the learned behaviors that may have served us and protected us once that now aren't quite so helpful, like the procrastination, comparing ourselves to others, black and white thinking, overworking, not resting, avoiding, overwhelming ourselves to the point we just freeze, deep breath, perfectionism, analysis paralysis, right? Some of those are the big ones, like the more common ones, but think of all the smaller, slightly more subtle ways that we do this to ourselves that we aren't conscious of. When we have to get someone else's opinion before making a decision, for example, creating confusion for ourselves by listening to too many voices and not taking any action, not listening to that niggle in our guts, buying more and more courses without anything to make it actually easy on yourself to actually implement them, judging other people while fearing judgment ourselves, collecting qualifications. I so have to watch myself on this one. Needing to control everything, needing to please everyone, saying yes when we want to say no, suppressing emotions, being competitive, not trusting or being too trusting of others, scattered thinking, trying all the things instead of sticking with something long enough to see progress, needing to be liked, blaming and making excuses. So these are just a few of them. These are all protection strategies in one way or another that stop us reaching our full potential, even though many of them do sneakily look like achievements or look like we're the ones in the right or doing the right thing. Some of the behaviors might even look good or positive on the surface, but they do hold you back, and there's a payoff in other areas usually. For example, you might feel good and reward yourself for your drive and ambition, but it might also show up in taking too much on and burning yourself out because unconsciously you believe that if you're not always in achieve mode, then everything's going to fall apart around you, right? It also stops you challenging anything when it's a perceived good or positive behavior. Your thoughts influence your physiology and your emotions influence your thoughts. There's constant messaging going on via your vagus nerve in your autonomic nervous system. 20% brain to body, 80% body to brain. So you often feel something before you think it. And all of this is unconscious. This stuff is wired into us, into our nervous system at a deep, deep, deep level. So no wonder it can feel hard to change sometimes, even when you consciously really want something. You've got all of this working in tandem with each other. We create these thoughts and messages and the baseline of safety in our nervous systems and in our brains through our experiences. How our needs were or weren't met as children, our attachment style, our traumas, genetics, epigenetics, what worked for us in the past to get us out of some sort of painful situation, even if we were only a small child at the time. All of this stuff stays with us and affects us into adulthood. That teacher who said you'll never amount to anything and called you lazy, the parents you saw work themselves into the ground and weren't really available to you, the sibling who said you were stupid or made digs at your appearance, and all of the stories that these experiences created, all the things they made you believe about yourself, about other people, and about the world. Yeah? All the ways that you created safety for yourself. We create stories about who we are and what we're capable of throughout our lives based around all of this. And we don't consciously question it until you find people like me or even know that that's an option, right? I see potential in every single person, every single one. Some people may feel like they're going to have to go harder against the grain than others, which might be true, but I wholeheartedly believe that everyone is capable of doing what they want to do, of achieving what they want to. I don't believe it, I know it. I believe every person is way more in control of their lives and outcomes than they think. Yeah, they just don't know. They're walking around with all this untapped potential bubbling away inside of them. They don't know how to access it, but it's there. Yeah, so many of the reasons that people don't achieve their full potential, it follows a very similar pattern, even though it's totally different for each person in the way it might show up and the reasons why, but there are many similarities. So I thought I would share a few of the most common ones I see. So if any of them resonate with you, you can decide to take action. So the first one will come as no surprise. Not making the unconscious conscious. Believing your own negative hype. This is the biggest one, being ruled by unconscious programming. So changeable. So changeable. Next one, not seeking a support network. Co-regulation is so important when you want to make any change or do things that are wildly outside of your comfort zone. You need to have other people to help you create safety for yourself. And I'm so grateful for my little support network, which is not little, to be fair. It's a mixture of friends who have businesses too, mentors, coaches, group programs that I'm in, communities that I'm in, which are all a part of my continuing professional development. I'm always surrounded by what I affectionately like to call lifter-uppers or caller-outers. People who won't let you buy into your own negative hype, because as much as this stuff's going on for you, it goes on for me too. This doesn't change throughout life. But the difference is knowing that you need that support network in place to be able to get around these things that are going to come up. Blast through the new level, new devil. I always get tongue-tied over that. New level, new devil. This stuff's always going to come up. But it's knowing how to handle it and how to get around it that is the key. The next one, trying to do everything yourself. I mean, does this require any explanation? This has always been a really big one for my unconscious programming. So I watch out for it. Yeah, when you find a good VA, don't let them go. The next one's being afraid of change. Yes, it can be scary, challenging, frustrating sometimes, but it's also the most freeing thing you can do to do the deep work, to do the change-making work. You can never unlearn this stuff in a really, really good way. Yeah, so don't fear it. Next one is not seeking out mentors who've done what you want to do. If you haven't had what you want for your life modeled for you, how can you be expected to know what to do? Right? Mic drop. Next one is believing in a lack of resources. This one's huge. Time, money, support, they're the core ones. We always find the time and money for the things that are the most important to us. We just do. Even if it might take a bit of time, there is always a way. Yeah, it just might not be obvious just yet, but we get to actively seek out resources. Yeah, know that. The next one, vague and fluffy reasons why you want what you want. I talk about this a lot, fluffy whys. I'm heart-centered and I want to help heart-centered people get what they want. No, incorrect. There is something at a core level that is why you want what you want. Often selfish, and we don't like to admit that because we're programmed that being selfish is a bad thing, right? You have to know the core selfish reason why you want this. It's not always selfish, but usually it is. So keep asking yourself, and what does that get me? And what does that get me? And you will know when you hit the nail on your head. You'll feel it viscerally. This is what I'm talking about, the messaging between brain and body to brain. You will feel it when you get to the right one. You've got to have that, because motivation and focus will be elusive if you don't have the honest clarity over what's driving you. Next one is not taking responsibility. This one can be a little bit of a hard one to swallow at times, but fundamentally, you are the one that's in control of your situation. Even if you're telling yourself you're not, even if you can't quite see right now how you are, give yourself some credit. It may feel hard, but it is incredibly empowering to admit this stuff, to admit the ways where we're not taking responsibility. I've done it a million times, so I know this. Just trust me. The next one is surrounding yourself with people who don't want you to grow. Sometimes we can't escape these people because quite often they are very close to us in our lives, and I get it. But you can limit your conversations around specific subjects with these people so they don't get the opportunity to drag you back. I always love the crab in a bucket analogy, where you have a ton of crabs in a bucket. One reaches for sweet, sweet freedom, and what happens? All the other ones drag them back, right? But more importantly on this one, it's actually about surrounding yourself with the people who do want you to grow and are invested in your and in their own growth. Be around the people doing the things that you want to do. Yeah, so fundamental. And the next one, final one, being unwilling to do the deep work. Yeah, it's a similar one to fearing the change. But being unwilling to do the deep work is different. Stop chasing and prioritizing the strategy. You will save yourself so much time, money, and energy if you do this bit first. I can promise you that. You can have all the strategy in the world, but if you don't have your emotions and your unconscious programs under control, and you don't have the tools and techniques to manage them, then you will keep butting up against them. It's just how this works. Yeah, so be willing to do the deep work. It's fun, I promise. It may feel hard, but it is fun. It's enlightening. It's challenging in the best of ways. So to reiterate, I 100% believe that everyone has the ability to live up to their full potential, to live this life that they dream of, have this business that they dream of. I believe that people are capable of so much more than they give themselves credit for. But you have to know that. You have to know that you're the one in control of that. And go do the thing, my love. Go do the thing. So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and start changing things for yourself, then book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. If you want my eyes and ears on your problems, then I work with people one-on-one and through my programs. You can find all the details to book in a call in the show notes, the link in my bio on Instagram and on my website, franexcel.com. So stop waiting for if and when and choose to change things now, because you 100% can. I am here to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And as always, I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you next week. Bye.